Hey you, how are you? Has it been? It's been a minute, yeah. So we talked about savings yesterday, and boy, what a conversation that was, yeah. How was it for you? I want to really hear from you. How was the conversation for you? And what did you learn from the conversation? What were the things that stood out for you in the conversation? We have so much more coming up for you. We're going to be downloading so much more. And we're going to start a vision series. A vision series. And I want to talk to you about what do you see? What you looking at? What are you seeing? What are you seeing? What are you seeing? I'm not one for vision board. I have to put out this disclaimer from the beginning. I'm not one for a vision board where I'll cut out newspaper articles and post it somewhere because I want to build a fantasy life based on the images I've seen before me. But I believe strongly in prophetic visioning. I believe so strongly in prophetic visioning. And then for some of you that are going to be a part of the coaching program, one of what we're going to talk about is prophetic visioning. I want to teach you how to vision with God. I want to teach you how to build with God. I want to teach you how to live with God and begin to see your life from the perspective of God, not the perspective of your fears. I want to teach you how to unravel and unlock deep things within you. So those ones we're going to do that in the coaching program, and it's quite affordable this time around because we want as many people as possible to be a part of it. However, I want to talk to you about something that what do you see now? The truth is that the future is uncertain because if I asked you right now, what's going to happen in the next 2 minutes, you can't accurately tell me what's going to happen in the next 2 minutes. No matter how prophetic you are, no matter how powerful you think or you feel that you are, you can't accurately tell me what's going to happen in the next 2 minutes. It's not possible. It's not possible that you tell me. All right. So the future is uncertain. If I tell you, so what's going to happen in 10 years at 12:49 p.m. in 10 years' time, you won't be able to tell me these things. Why won't you be able to tell me? Because it's not in you to know. It's not given to you to know. It's not a possibility that has been revealed for your life for you to know, but God knows. And so that's why I believe so strongly in prophetic vision, in dreaming with God, in going into spaces where that you see as God sees, you live as God lives. You begin to see possibilities as God sees. You allow yourself to dream the God kind of dreams that are on God levels, that you're not scared of outcomes that are bombarded with you or to you, but that you begin to dream on the frequency of God. And so we can create not just words, but pictures, because if we read the book of Habakkuk, it tells us how that we will see what he is saying. Why do we have to see what is being said? Because we are people that subconsciously we create these mental pictures, right? When we begin to hear things, we begin to form mental pictures. For example, if I told you I was going to be getting married, you would look at me now and you begin to picture me in a wedding dress, and I say, oh, all of you are going to wear an ashrabi for me. Let's say everybody's going to wear pink. You're going to begin to see yourself in pink. You're going to begin to ask me things like, what kind of pink? Baby pink, kidney pink. I'm sure that there's a million types of pink. So you begin to list all the shades of pink and expect me to choose one. And I'll look at you like you're crazy, but I believe God that you're not. And so I'm just going to tell you whatever pink that comes to my heart, and I'll say something like, oh, why don't we pull resources together, get the materials, and everybody gets how many they need and make the outfit. Now, that's the mindset that comes in when we say something concerning what we got to do or what needs to be done, right? But then let's look at the other side of it. The other side of it is that these pictures are very, very important because it gives us something to look forward to. It gives us something that we can hold on to without it being taken away from us. So if success was a place, how would we know when we get there? If arrival was a destination, if there was a particular destination where we'll go to and we'll say, oh, we've arrived, what would it look like? Where are we going and why should we go there? What does winning look like for us? If we say we won, for example, if you're playing a soccer match, that's football, for example, and you score 10-0, that's a win. However, I watched a match recently, Chelsea and was it Real Madrid or something, where Chelsea won the match, but yet they were disqualified. Why? Because these guys even scored one goal. So what is winning? What does it look like? Because the rules of winning are different in different spaces. So I can't choose the rules of winning in a particular space to evaluate the rules of winning in another space. So am I able to properly articulate what is winning in relationships for me? What is winning in rooms for me? What is winning where my friends are concerned? What is winning? What does winning look like for me? I need to begin to ask myself, what does it look like? What does this destination look like? I need to articulate it so that when somebody is trying to take me to a different place, I can say, no, 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 no. That's not where I'm going to. That's not how I'm going to get there. That's not how I'm going to get there. That's not what I'm going to do to get there. Do you understand? So winning has a look, winning has a face. Winning has a face, and that face, I must become very familiar with it so that nobody can sell me anything different. I must become very familiar with the destination of winning so that nobody can tell me otherwise about winning. Winning is winning is something else. Winning is our ability for us to birth the dreams of God at God level and to see it as God has seen it. The way God sees it, that's the way I want to see it. The way God dreams it, that's the way that I want to dream it. I refuse to settle for less than what God has said. So, what is God saying? What has God says? What is God saying? What has God says? It's just so exciting when we can sit down and dream with God. What kind of marriage do you want? I don't mean the one that you watched from the Indian movies, what's it called? Z World and D World and Me World and the Mexican ones too. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about your ability to see your marriage from the lenses of God, how that you will both be purpose partners to hold each other's back, to hold each other's hands, to fight for each other, to support each other, to help each other thrive, to help each other grow, to fight for each other. So that we can be able to understand that God is teaching us that it's time to grow, that it's time to move from our fears. I want you to dream about the kind of career you want. Dream about the kind of world you want to live behind. Dream about the new possibilities. Just go ahead and dream about it. Dream about new images, new pictures in your heart. Dream about it. Dream with God. Dream with God. You've got to dream with God. You get to see from the lenses of God. You get to come off from your fears and allow God to just take the stage and have his way, and you come out of the way and see yourself from the perspective of the very things that God is showing you, the very things that God has said to you, the very things that God wants to birth with you, and you do it fearlessly. You do it fearlessly and you refuse to take no for an answer. Dream with God the kind of nation you want. Dream with God the kind of possibilities you want. Dream with God, dream with God, dream with God, dream with God so that you can see that all things work together for your good. Dream with God so that you refuse to give up. Dream with God so that you can see from the lenses of God and obeying God. That yes, despite the fact that obeying God is hard, you have no choice but to obey anyways because God is taking you on a journey to becoming. God is birthing new outcomes on your inside and revealing you to you, and the limitations that you place on your heart and on yourself are nothing but limitations designed to stop you, designed to hinder you from becoming who you're meant to be at the pace that you're meant to be, that you can refuse to take no for an answer and build with God to make a difference. All things work together for good to them that love God. It may not seem good right now, but keep building. You may not understand it right now, but keep building, keep dreaming, keep obeying, keep seeing from the lenses of God. Allow him to wash your sight with hyssop. Allow him to birth new possibilities for you. Allow him to show you a different outcome than the one that you're familiar with. Allow him to strengthen, empower, and embolden you into much more than you thought was ever possible. Allow him for you to begin to come into new spaces and new circles. What are you seeing? What does the next 10 years look like? What does the next 25 years look like? What does the next 30 years look like? What does the remaining part of this year look like? What are you willing to do to see that which you have conceived with the spirit to become a physical manifestation? What steps do you have to take? What obedience moves do you have to make? In what ways do you have to dream with God? Do you have to see possibilities with God? Do you have to refuse to give up? Refuse to give in? Refuse to just refuse to settle for less than what God says, less than what God showed you? What are the things that you need to begin to do differently to see different outcomes? What do you need to do? It's time for you to allow God, let go and let God. Stand fearlessly. Where are you going? What tells you that you're going there? Because another thing about vision is that you need convictions that will stand the test of time, convictions that are fearless even in the midst of the valley of the shadow of death, that even when you are dragged into the lion's den, you can stand boldly and say, my convictions, I do not waver at them. I stand firm, I stand bold at the very convictions, the very things I have believed, and I refuse to believe contrary. I refuse to believe otherwise. I refuse to accept otherwise. These are my convictions and I stand for them. I stand with God for them. I'm not walking away. I'm not walking away. I'm not walking away until I see the result that God has promised me to see. I will fight for this. I will work for it. The sleepless nights are worth it. These are the things that I want to see us to get to, because let it not just be a fantasy where you close your eyes and you see yourself walking down the aisle wearing a princess ball gown, and then there's a man that is taller than you, he has beard, he came with a Lexus Jeep to marry you, and all of that. Let it not just be fantasy, but let us dream with God God so that he can give us his own dreams for us. Because the truth is that the dreams of God, irrespective of how small they may appear to be for you, are far greater than whatever dreams you could conceive in your heart for yourself. I'll repeat again, the dreams of God for you are far greater than whatever dreams you could conceive in your heart for yourselves. So learn to dream with God. Learn to abandon your fears. Walk away from your fears and see the way that God sees, and refuse to give up and refuse to give in, and choose God every single time. So, my question to you now is, what do you see? What do you see about your future? What do you see about your children? What do you see about your finances? What do you see about your home? What do you see about your outcomes? What do you see about the next 10 years, the next 20 years? What do you even see about the next presidential election of your country? What do you see? And how can you participate to ensure that your site is not just fantasy, but that your site is actually built according to the pattern of the Lord? Let me know in the chat how today's podcast made you feel and how it's making you to re-see, re-dream, and reproject in your heart, in your mind, and in all that you do, so that you don't give up or take no for an answer. See you tomorrow, guys, and bye for now.